day I was telling that I think it is the quality of wisdom which is still lingering or is manifesting in many Australians' wisdom path, which many have lost because they have taken to the gross side of materialism. Sri Ganesha is a tremendous purifying power, tremendous purifying power, because it cannot be contaminated. But if whatever you may try, it cannot be contaminated. Only thing is it may recede back. It may not manifest. But wherever it is in its absolute form. If you know how to use it, you can purify everybody, you and yours, everybody. So the responsibility of Australians, one must understand, is because they are living in a country which is ruled by Sri Ganesha. So first they have to maintain their purity of their being. Many people sometimes think that purity is only limited to the gross side, that you lead a sensible sex life is sufficient. It is not so. That's why Christ has said, thou shalt not have adulterous eyes. Meaning, your eyes should be clean. And as you know, eyes represent your ego and superego both. So, when he said that your eyes should be clear, he meant that your thoughts should be clear. Now what is the generator of your thought? You have to go deep into it and see how thoughts are generated. The brain of human beings, as you know, is like a pyramid. Is elevated to a central point here in a cortical plane. Is the epitome, is the Brahman. And when this mind elevates to that state in human beings, it goes into a tremendous change of its reactions to its environment. For example, an animal, if he sees a thing, he doesn't think about it. There's no reaction to it. But only in human beings, this reaction takes place because of his conical plane, let's say, that attention that's coming in goes into a parallelogram of forces, because we have two types of densities. There is also refraction, and because of refraction, this parallelogram of forces acts in such a way that your attention goes out, and the attention that goes out reacts. And when it reacts, the thought waves start coming into us. You must have seen a lake. If you drop a stone in the lake, the waves start, right? And they come to the shores of the lake. And then it is the shore that gives it another wave which goes back. In the same way, when human beings look at anything, they put attention to it, there's always a reaction that comes. Now, according to Christ, we have to have a non-adulterous eyes. So there should be no adultery. The word adultery is, in the pure sense, is not so bad. Adultery means there should not be any mixture of what it exists. Simple as that. When we say this adulteration in the milk, we mean that it's not purely milk, but it's something else in it, alright? So, when you look at things, say this is bone. The bone is a bone, that's all. What is that you think about? But a person who is not realized so will immediately start thinking about the bone. Now, depending on the conditioning of a person. If a person is a very perverted soul, I don't know what he'll think of the bone. Because I can't go to every limit of things. Sorry, I have certain limitations. But a person who is, say, a normal person also may start thinking about the ball, how much it will cost, what will happen, this and that, all sort of conditioning according to money, because if he's money oriented. If he's ego oriented, then his thoughts would go reacting that same. This is the adulteration. That when you look at things, there's nothing to think of. What is there to think? Whatever is, it is. But we think by thinking, we solve the problems. Also, this kind of a myth exists among human beings. That when you look at something, or you think about something, then you solve the problem. It's not true. It's a myth. Because thinking is just an empty process of the mind. It's like a wave passing towards the shore and think that it can just engulf it or dissolve it. So the thought is just an empty vessel which carries nothing. It cannot do anything. It cannot bring forth any fruit whatsoever. Sometimes the statement might look very big and you might think, how can that be? But you've done so much bad thinking. But you have not. Whatever you have done is through spontaneity. Because the unconscious has given you the ideas, inspiration. You have done everything through inspiration and not by your own thinking. Now there, we do not want to agree because then we have to give up our ego because we think, oh, we have achieved it through our. But when you think too much like that, then what happens? The unconscious gives you the necessary information because it has compassion, it has comfort. And suddenly you find something there. You are just pushed into that corner where you find. And for this we must know Einstein is the person who said that the theory of relativity dawned upon him from somewhere else. Because whatever is known is already there. And whatever is unknown, you cannot find out by this brain, which is thinking, but by the brain which is enlightened. Now he said, thou shalt not have adulterous eyes. Of course, the adultery, as we understand, is that we should not have lust in our life. But I would go still further to say that our attention has to be so pure that we should not have any return, idea of return from that, but just enjoying God. If I see a beautiful thing, and I'm just enjoying it. Not that I should possess it, nor should I think about it, nor do I need that I should repeat it. Just enjoy it as it is. Maybe if you just enjoy it, you will just be it. That's the capacity one should have of purification. So, sometimes people think that SahajaYoga is a very Victorian sort of system in which you can't live the life like this. Freedom we have achieved, abandonment we have achieved. We cannot enjoy such. But this virtue or this righteousness that we have condemned so far is really the sustainer, is our quality. is our gold, is our wealth, is our property, is our security, which we have lost. And we have to just again have a cleansing. It is there. Because if it is fundamentally eternal, it cannot be lost. It cannot be permanently destroyed. It's like you have seen a brass metal or something like that that's covered with that atmosphere, black, red, yellow, sort of a color. And again you polish it out, it comes back. But if it is gold, it is untarnished. It is untarnished. But if gold is allowed to rust in the dirty gutter or something, you cannot see. It's covered with all kinds of things. And it is just finished now. It exists all the time. Our innocence is here. It's not lost. It's there. Only it's covered. Just like the sky will be covered with clouds. It is covered now because of the atmosphere, because of the way we try to dent it. That's why I say don't feel guilty. Because if you feel guilty, then you have a hand which is weak, a mind which is wobbly, and then you don't want to cleanse yourself. But it exists all the time. It is untarnishable. It exists within. You have to just get to it. Now Sri Ganesha is the one who does that job. He is the one who cleanses. That not he is the embodiment of purity, but he does that job. Only a person, or only the deity, which is the embodiment of purity, can do it. As like you can see a soap. Soap is the one which is in quality, is pure, and it purifies. Supposing it is not pure, it is then become contaminated. In the same way, our innocence is absolutely pure. So it is our innocence itself pure. Just see, the one which is lying under, which we have always repressed, which we have undermined, which we have not respected, comes to our help and shines with us. It's such a great blessing that we have so many eternal things existing in us. Otherwise, human beings would have been finished long ago. There would have been no trace of human beings the way they have been playing about with their chastity, with their real power of their character. So, when it is very much always interesting in every religion that you have to get from the life, same life. The reason is this gold that is the divine must be made to shine. The brilliance of such a place. You can see a person who lives very fast life as well, shallow life, sad life, and all kinds of unhappy lives once well. But a person who starts shining once will be with that wisdom and that purity. Beams, absolutely beams with the luster of Sri Ganesha, the innocence of Sri Ganesha, his playfulness, his joy, enjoying, the way he enjoys joy, the way he manifests joy. He is the source of all joy. Now, in English language, there are no names given to joy. There's only one word, joy. And I find it sometimes difficult to describe different kinds of joy that we can have at different levels of our emotion. But when you get to your sadhana, joy is called Nira. Nira. Now Nira is my name. Anand is joy. Nira means that there's nothing else but joy. Complete joy. No reaction. Just some burst in joy. that quality also evolves through the quality of Sri Ganesha. It's the Sri Ganesh who evolves that quality of Niranand. He goes into evolution gradually, as you see a progress of that doesn't mean that he goes into evolution, but you can see a seed going into that tree. And ultimately, what we find that we are sitting on top of that tree, enjoy actually. The joy that our Heavenly Father has bestowed upon us. Now the puja part of it, one should understand, is very important. But everybody should not be exposed to puja. From 2 points of view. Sometimes the people who come to puja actually are not really worthy, not worthy. And then they react. They react. They think, why this puja, this is subsidy and because they are not worthy of it. They have to find out some excuse to justify their unworthiness. So we have to first find out if the person is worthy of puja or not. If the person is not worthy, it's better to leave the person alone till he becomes worthy. Because doubts and all those things can obstruct flow of vibrations to other people, and such a person can create a problem for us. So it is not civil on that person also to be here. If the person has not got an open heart and understanding of what is. Doing puja to any deity as such is not easy, especially to Sri Ganesha. Those people who do puja to Sri Ganesha should know that, of course, it has to be a Swayambhu means the one that is created by God. No other Ganesha. And if they are not realized, so they can never worship Shri. We cannot even think, we cannot even take his name. It is so much difficult to reach Shri Ganesha. But after realization, the first thing we have to do is to worship Shri. Because that's the basis of which what you can worship. It's the one first who got his restriction, then his resurrection. It is the one who opened the path of realization. So you have to worship him before any other deity. The greatest sacrifices, the greatest evolutionary ascent you achieved for your sake to become a human being, to die, and to suffer like a human being, so that you should not find it difficult. Today when we say that, oh, it's so easy, how do you get it? We forget that people have done a lot of work to achieve it for you. Create a path, like supposing I come to birth. So when I was studying in school, I used to read the word birth. I couldn't imagine that Indians would easily reach birth. From say just fly out and you are just there. But it's possible that we have achieved this kind of an ascent from India to birth so easily. Because people have worked for it. People have sacrificed. How many people must have died creating an aeroplane? How must have had shocks and things like that? We are now just using, we are so privileged to use their sacrifices for our faith. It's all being taken for granted. In the same way, in spiritual ascent, when you say it's easy, it's not so easy as you think, but it is worked out since ages. It's very deep. And even your mother has worked hard to achieve. So somebody has done the job. So if it is easy, you should thank your stars that it's not difficult for you. Instead of doubting it, why is it so easy? That you want to contribute something to it. Alright. But first, take advantage of what is available, and then you can contribute also something more to it. If you have not known an ordinary aeroplane, how are you going to build a complicated one? So first know that whatever is achieved is self-realization and power of Shiva. Establish Shiva. First of all, you must establish, and then you can use it for others and yourself. And for bettering the methods of SahajaYoga benchmark. That's how Sri Ganesha is so important for all the SahajaYoga, to be understood in its all aspects. But this principle is very not principle is very spread out. It's very so to understand in its own aspects of it. The only thing what you can do is to become like the ocean. You become one with the ocean, you become the ocean. Just become one, and that's it. But if you use your brains to understand, your brain cannot even capture a beat of it. The best thing is that you just become the whole process, just try to become one. And those who can achieve that will realize that they have enjoyed themselves, and they have enjoyed it. They have those qualities by which they just feel bliss and peaceful. Just they being themselves is sufficient. I always had made hooks on the street. And I was sure that it happened. And when it happens, you achieve later results, you have to work hard. And you all have to work very hard to understand the importance of this country. Your importance and strength. Just before Puja, I would like you, anyone who has any genuine question, to ask me, because I don't want to get Puja damaged. If you have himself, he is the one stop. He is the one who makes you settle down. What is stop? Like Grihastha, the one who is a householder, is the one who stays in the house. He makes you stay or makes you stay. Establish. Establishment, settle. You settle, you can settle. All these, or we should say rooted. Keeps you rooted is a better word. Rooted. So I agree with work. Center is the door. This is the door. See that? If you want to find out, maybe 1, 2, 6. I don't want to be down. Just don't fall. But gradually all of them have to come. And if they don't come, don't despair. That's all. That's their luck. So you just don't argue on that. Don't waste your energy arguing. We have other methods of convincing them that we need a matter of all these. You don't get and you don't get angry because there is this. And you must prove your past also, how you behave towards SahajaYoga. And then you will be kind to them. Be kind. Gradually everyone has to come, those who are serious. You see that they are all in before they close it. Poi lo vedo, chissà. Did I give you these this time? No. This is the last time. This cluster comes from Shiva.
We would have liked to have taken you to Ayers Rock this time, other two.
Yes, I would love to see, but how far is it?
It's quite a long way, and it means one air journey to Alice Springs to the centre, and then another smaller plane to the place. We could do it if you wish, but
We'll do next year. I'll get there.
it's such a beautiful place, full of vibration.
I'll see photographs. We should get some more photographs for people to see. You see, because when I tell them, they said they haven't seen the photograph. So if you could have something, they would love to see.
Actually, we could put together a little exhibition.
Yeah. I mean, you even see the trunk going
Yes.
like that.
Yes.
Really like that. What more you want? The
Yes.
expression of Shiva is.
And it's exactly on the parallel of latitude as Chindwara.
As Chindwara.
As it is north,
Yeah.
so it is south.
It's Capricorn. In the Capricorn.
Exactly. Not within a few degrees, but exactly.
What's the latitude?
20, I've got it written down. It's 22 and a half, 23 degrees. But it's a little...
And altitude?
It's, I think it's on a plateau about 1,800 feet or something like that.
No, what you call the...
The elevation of the hill, the
beginning.
mountain.
You see, we have two things. No, one.
Oh, longitude, sorry.
Longitude. No. Longitude.
Check that.
We should find
I'll find out.
what is on the other side.
Shall we begin by saying your mantras, Mother? And
Pardon?
then shall we begin with your mantras and Sri Ganesha's mantras?
Yes, Sri Ganesha's mantra is all right. 1, 2, 6, Sri Ganesha.
First thing.
Washing my feet, please. So my feet are Sri Ganesha. The hands are Sri Krishna. The head is Ganesha.
Begin with mantras.